In this tutorial, I'll tell you everything you need to know about BitMEX withdrawals. Please give me the thumbs up and have a look at the discount links below. BitMEX withdrawals are processed only once a day, no matter what, at 1 p.m. UTC time. The only exception I know of was the Bitcoin Cash fork, when additional round was allowed because BitMEX didn't want to deal with the fork. Once you submit the withdrawal, you have to confirm it with your email link, and all this has to happen before 1 p.m. UTC, otherwise you will get delayed by 24 hours. Now fees are the most interesting part of BitMEX withdrawals. So BitMEX looks at the fees in the mempool at the time you submit your withdrawal, and then it determines the minimum fee, and I hardly ever select a fee that is other than the minimum fee. So when you go to account withdrawal, you can see this withdrawal page. You paste your address here, you put how many bitcoins you want to withdraw, and then you submit what Bitcoin network fee you want to use. They recommend minimum fee of 0.0024 Bitcoin and require at least exact same fee. Notes are optional. If you're keeping records, you can put your note here. So I hardly ever select a fee that is other than the minimum fee. I am satisfied with the time of processing, well, the time it takes for the blockchain to process the withdrawal, which BitMEX considers their minimum fee, and I would actually err on the side of being even slower and submitting an even slower fee. So I think the standard is 0.0003, which is several times smaller than the current fee. Currently there is a rather big congestion, and this has been caused by the drop in price and by halving, which has happened very recently, and this has reduced the output, reduced the network hash rate, and just yesterday the network has adjusted to reduced difficulty and higher throughput. So the minimum fee is still generous, but it's still being paid from your pocket, and it's the same as on the other exchanges, more or less. Overall, they want to see their change from the transaction, so part of the output to come back to them, just as much as you want your money as well. So they don't send transactions that are unlikely to get confirmed soon. I think they aim for these transactions to get confirmed within hours. So you can slightly game the system by submitting the withdrawal at the time when the fees are lower, because the minimum fee is based on the network congestion at the time of your withdrawal request, not at the time when the withdrawal is processed at 1 p.m. UTC time. So you can select, well, you can request your withdrawal at around 7 to 10 a.m. UTC time. And this is the time when US and EU are pretty much asleep. BitMEX will base your minimum fee on the blockchain congestion at the time of the submission, and it will assign the value of satoshis per byte or satoshi per v byte at the time when the withdrawal is performed. So that is at 1 p.m. UTC time. So by requesting it at the time of lower fees and then having it processed at the time of higher fees, it will result in slightly lower fees, and that will save you some money, especially if you do them if you withdraw them rather frequently. Withdrawals can be cancelled, and at peak congestion you can submit a withdrawal in the morning and then wait till closer to 1 p.m. and then decide whether to proceed with what you have submitted or whether just to cancel it. Now the withdrawal is processed. How long do you have to wait? So you look at your transaction. Your transactions will be here, and there will be a link to a blockchain analytics website, and there will be a transaction hash most likely. You can put this hash into Blockstream Explorer, and you can look up how many satoshis did they pay per v byte for your transaction. And that's a very useful figure. You can go to mempool.observer, and on this website you can see how big the total sum of withdrawals is, and how is Bitcoin as a network doing with processing them. Now, how many V bytes can Bitcoin put in one block? So there is 1 mega V byte per one block, and that is 4 mega weight units, and that translates to around 1.3 megabytes per block. The actual bytes of data, including witness data. So you can see this cutoff with 1 megabyte. So these transactions will be confirmed if a block is found within the next seconds or maybe minutes. If we find 2 blocks, one after another, which is not that infrequent, all the transactions from here will be confirmed. So if we find one block, at the moment everything above 101 Satoshi per V byte will be confirmed. If we find 2 blocks in a row, everything above 68 Satoshi per V byte will be confirmed. So that way you can judge how soon will your withdrawal be processed. You can see that tendency, the trend of the mempool, how big, how small it is, whether fees are going up or down on this chart by blockchain.com, a website which I don't like too much because they supported Bcash. And this will tell you whether the fees are going down or up, and whether to expect your withdrawal soon or whether not to expect your withdrawal at all on that day. So that should be helpful. All the withdrawals come from the addresses which start with 3BMEX, and these are the multi-sig addresses, and they are easy to identify on the blockchain. Why once a day? That's for security and ease of processing. This adds to security, but it's at the expense of being inconvenient for the users. And in the ideal world, I would recommend 3 times per day. And as I'm talking about BitMEX withdrawals, it's hard not to mention that withdrawals are not very optimized, and they take up massive amount of blockchain space. And this blockchain space is being paid by the users, and this is just a whole another discussion. Whenever you're in touch with support, you can mention the inefficient withdrawals and put some pressure on them to make it all a little bit more efficient. Thank you very much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, please comment and subscribe, and have a look at the links in the description below. If you register a new account with these links, it will save you some money on the transaction fees.